I don't understand the logic. I can't even wrap my head around the basic premise of it.
A truck stolen, a beloved dog missing, and the suspects already back on the street.
I want my dog back. I'm mad about it.
Tonight, concerns over how prosecutors are approaching Colorado's rising number of vehicle thefts.
Police pursuit ends with a police vehicle upside down.
Everything just came to kind of a weird slow motion halt.
Tonight, neighbors explain what they saw and heard in the moments leading up to the crash.
One went down, 15 to go. The Avs aim to continue their Game 1 dominance against the Predators at Ball Arena. It is a growing problem in which Colorado leads the nation: auto thefts.
Going in depth, since the start of 2019, auto thefts statewide have increased 140%. It's even worse here in the Denver metro. They've increased 173%. And victims tell Denver 7 they don't feel like authorities are doing enough to bring these crimes to a stop.
That includes an Arvada man who had his truck and everything inside it stolen last month, leaving him to rebuild his life without his best friend.
Denver 7's Rob Harris has a story.
This is the new addition. His name's Boomer.
Boomer the dog is just one of the ways Mark Moynihan is trying to rebuild his livelihood and find some stability. Boomer's been some much-needed company.
I had to buy this truck, this rare beauty, and now I've been going to pawn shops and wherever I can to buy tools. My head is reeling. It's just like there's so many things I have to do.
Things to do and to replace. See, Boomer has an adopted big brother named Bunker, and his dad is hoping he's still out there somewhere.
When I had pulled into the granite yard to pay for some granite that I had there, I had a brand new puppy. I left it in the front seat, and it looked at me like, "Where are you going?" And who would have thought? I walked in, he ran my credit card, I signed it, and I walked out, and my truck was gone.
Police say two people took Moynihan's truck using keys left in the glove box, driving it through Arvada and Westminster, getting into several hit-and-run crashes along the way. Eventually, their drive brought them here to the intersection of Pearl and Colfax, where police say they got into another crash, this time disabling the truck. The two were found not too far from the scene of the crash with the keys to the truck still in hand. But the Denver District Attorney is only pursuing charges of second-degree trespassing of a motor vehicle, not auto theft.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Mike Greenwell is with the Metropolitan Auto Theft Task Force.
That's what the police, law enforcement have been complaining about for the last 3 or 4 years, is that criminals are not being held accountable.
Greenwell believes less aggressive charges are leading to more thefts.
And I can tell you it's going to continue to increase. There is no repercussions. Why would I be afraid to steal a car if I know that I'm not going to be held accountable?
My truck it's literally in pieces.
Mark Moynihan's truck and tools for his job were lost and destroyed in the crash. We offered to start a Denver 7 Gives campaign to help him replace what he lost, but he declined.
I'm ex-military. There's a lot of people that really need help. I mean, I can struggle through this, and I will. I'll make it happen.
There's only one main thing still on his mind that he hopes the community can help him with: finding Boomer's big brother.
I really would like to get Bunker back just so now they'd be together. It would be comforting to know that he's somewhere that's loved and he's safe.
For Denver 7, I'm Rob Harris.
And we asked the Denver DA why only trespassing charges are being pursued, and we were told they could not comment on a current court case. If you have seen Moynihan's dog or you know anything that could help him in the search, we have details on how you can reach out to him over at thedenverchannel.com.
All right, so what about insurance? Will it cover your vehicle if it's stolen and your keys are inside? According to Progressive, yes, but you need comprehensive coverage. Comprehensive coverage will cover any losses or damage to your vehicle when you're not involved in an accident.
It was video that sent shockwaves across Colorado. A Loveland police officer violently arrests a 73-year-old woman with dementia, breaking her arm in the process. Well, today the officer seen in that video arresting Karen Garner was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Austin Hopp pleaded guilty to 1 count of felony assault in March. In addition to prison time, Hopp was also given 3 years of parole and is not allowed to work as a police officer. Hopp and Officer Daria Jalali stopped Garner in June of 2020 after she walked out of a Walmart without paying for $13 worth of items. Body camera video captured Hopp grabbing Garner's arm and pushing her to the ground. A lawsuit filed after the arrest claimed the officers refused to provide Garner with medical attention. Jalali is also facing multiple charges in the Garner case, and she pleaded not guilty in March. Her next court date is scheduled for June. In a statement after Hopp's sentencing, Interim Chief Eric Stewart said his department is grateful for the DA's pursuit of this case, adding, "While this will not change the terrible treatment Ms. Garner experienced, we hope that this sentence can bring some measure of justice to her and her family."
And the violent arrest of Ms. Garner led to a $3 million settlement between the city of Loveland and her family. It also led to an independent review of Loveland PD's practices. A consulting firm found that LPD's use of force policy does align with best practices, but has room for improvement. The report recommended Loveland Police create a policy that emphasizes de-escalation. It also said departments should require officers to report when there is any witness of excessive force.
All right, take a look at this. 2 Denver police officers are recovering from minor injuries after a pursuit ends with their squad vehicle on its roof. Wow. DPD says this all began with a shooting before evolving into a chase.
Denver 7's CB Cotton talked with neighbors about what they saw and what they heard.
I heard all the commotion. Next thing I know, there's guns, and I'm looking down barrels because they're literally at the corner of my backyard.
Police tape and the aftermath of a police chase, all just a couple hundred feet from Anthony Verhaeg's doorstep.
One of the wildest things I've seen in a while.
It all started with an afternoon shooting in southwest Denver. Officers quickly spotted the suspect vehicle and began a chase that brought them to the area of South Tennyson Street and West Tennessee Avenue. Neighbor Kylie Cross heard it.
We just took our kids inside and made them stay inside.
Because she says cars were moving fast.
They were going at least 100 miles an hour, at least.
We reviewed the operation manual for Denver police, and there's nothing that forbids officers from pursuits in neighborhoods. But the manual says officers will consider the, quote, nature of the area before pursuits.
It was pretty fast, but it all happened and right when they came over those dips, you could hear all the cars hit the bump, so they were going fast because you could hear that when they bottomed out.
During the pursuit, a Denver police vehicle somehow overturned, and then shortly after, officers were able to take the suspect into custody. The 2 officers in the damaged cruiser were taken to the hospital, but are expected to be okay. And neighbors still in shock after witnessing it all from their doorsteps.
It was nuts.
In Denver, I'm CB Cotton, Denver 7.
And police say the person injured in the shooting that led to the pursuit is expected to be okay.
This past December marked 25 years since one of Colorado's most infamous crimes, the murder of 6-year-old Jonbenet Ramsey. A quarter century later, still no arrests. On CNN today, Jonbenet's father, John Ramsey, opened up about his renewed push to get justice for his daughter. He is now asking the state to take over the case from Boulder police, who he says have not worked fast enough to test DNA evidence.
We know that there are items from the crime scene that have never been tested for DNA. And what we're asking the governor to do is to have those items tested, sampled for DNA using the latest technology. And the latest technology is only available through some independent cutting-edge labs. The government does not have that technology yet. So it's got to go outside. And we've tried for years to get the Boulder Police to move on this and have been unsuccessful.
And Ramsey said he's not heard from Boulder PD in 3 years now. Earlier this week, Governor Polis' office confirmed it is reviewing Ramsey's petition for the state to take over.
A sense of normalcy months after the Marshall fire took it away. In Superior today, Dog Tag, a daycare for pets, reopened its doors for the first time since the devastating fire. Owner Danelle Slater tells Denver 7 the fire damaged their fence, outdoor play areas, and burned down a barn. About 40 dogs were being cared for at the time, and she says after stuffing as many as they could in cars, they had to let the remaining dogs run free in order to survive. And thankfully, all the dogs were all found safely. And now, Slater is keeping the business's entry sign from that day as a reminder to never forget.
One of my employees picked it up and saved it, thinking that maybe at some time it wouldn't represent the tragedy, but it would represent the strength and resilience of the community. And so it brought me to tears when I saw it.
Slater says insurance would not cover the pea gravel the dogs play on, but thanks to community fundraising, they were able to completely replace it.
The state of Colorado and city of Denver are mourning the loss of a trailblazer. Norm Early, Colorado's first black prosecutor, has died from complications of diabetes. Now, Early served as Denver's district attorney for 10 years in the early 80s and 90s. In a tweet today, Mayor Hancock remembered Early as, quote, one of his favorite public servants. of all time. Adding the early made everyone feel comfortable and was a bundle of courage, kindness, compassion, and love. Norm Early was 76 years old.
Crocheting for a cause.
Just a symbol in the community, I think, is just powerful.
How this Colorado group is part of a larger project to show solidarity with Ukraine.
Nice 60s and 70s today, coming up when highs reach the mid-80s.
Plus, one of the most well-known names in sports now entering the race to buy the Broncos.